A seemingly ordinary move for the Lambert family takes a horrifying turn when their eldest son, Dalton, falls into a mysterious coma after a strange experience in the attic. Doctors are baffled, leaving the family to grapple with a terrifying reality. Unexplained occurrences plague the Lamberts' new home, fueling Ronnie's growing suspicion that a malevolent force lurks within its walls. Determined to save her son, she seeks the help of Elise Rainier, a psychic known for delving into the paranormal. Along with her trusted team of investigators, Elise uncovers a chilling truth. Dalton possesses an unusual ability, astral projection. During his sleep, his consciousness wanders beyond the physical realm, venturing into a terrifying dimension known as the Further. Unfortunately, Dalton has become lost in this nightmarish in-between, trapped amongst the tormented souls trapped there. The shocking revelation goes deeper. Josh Dalton's father harbors a dark secret. His mother, Lorraine, reveals a haunting past where Josh exhibited the same astral projection ability as a child, tormented by a chilling apparition. A woman in a black dress. Desperate to bring his son back, Josh embarks on a perilous journey into the Further. Aided by hypnosis, he projects himself into this hellish landscape, seeking Dalton amidst the monstrous entity that lured there. Their fight for survival seems successful. Both father and son return seemingly in hunt. However, Elise remains uneasy. A subtle shift in Josh's behavior sends shivers down her spine. Her suspicions solidify when a photograph captures a horrifying truth. In Josh's place stands the malevolent woman in black, the entity that tormented him as a child. This horrifying entity, now possessing Josh's body, rage, silencing Elise forever. As Rainier stumbles upon the chilling photograph, the terrifying realization dawns. The nightmare has just begun. Insidious Chapter 2 delves deeper into the Lambert family's chilling ordeal. The film opens with a glimpse into the past 1986, where a young Josh is tormented by a sinister entity, the Bride in Black. We see a desperate Lorraine Lambert seek the help of a young Elise Rainier, who enlists the aid of her associate, Carl. Together, they devise a daring plan to suppress Josh's memories of astral projection, shielding him from the lurking darkness. Fast forward to the present. Following the tragic events of the first film, the Lamberts seek refuge at Lorraine's house. However, the respite is short-lived. Dalton is plagued by nightmares of a new spectral figure, a woman in white. Meanwhile, Josh's behavior spirals, becoming increasingly erratic and violent. Enter Specs and Tucker, the ever-reliable ghost hunters. They return to aid the Lamberts, armed with a shocking revelation. Footage from 1986, depicting an adult Josh standing beside his younger self. Desperate for guidance, they reach out to Carl, hoping to connect with Elise's spirit. Their search leads them to an abandoned hospital, where repressed memory unlocks a horrifying truth. Lorraine recalls a former patient, Parker Crane, a man driven to self-harm and ultimately suicide. However, his presence lingers. His ghost haunts the horse. Following a trail of clues, the Lamberts discover Parker's chilling secret, a hidden room filled with macabre evidence, decaying bodies, a black wedding dress, and newspaper clippings revealing Parker's dark past as a serial killer. A further West exposes the puppet master behind the carnage. Parker's deranged mother, Michelle. He forced him to dress and act as a girl, the woman in white manipulating him into committing heinous acts. Armed with this knowledge, Dalton bravely ventures back into the Further, the realm between worlds. His mission: locate his father and break the evil's hold. Meanwhile, Josh's physical form weakens as Parker's malevolent spirit under Michelle's command takes control. A desperate battle ensues, with Elise joining the fight in the Further. When Elise vanquishes Michelle's spirit, Josh is freed from her control, allowing the Lambert family a fragile moment of peace. But the film leaves a chilling final note. Specs and Tucker embark on a new investigation, encountering a young girl in a vegetative state. As they work, an unsettling presence lingers. A young observer, unseen by the adults, witnesses a spectral figure, Elise's ghost. The film ends with a sense of foreboding as Elise reacts in horror to an unseen threat, leaving the audience to wonder what new darkness awaits. The third installment in the Insidious franchise predates the first film, set in 2007 and 3 years before the Lambert family's haunting in the first film. It follows a teenage girl named Quinn, whose mother passed away a year prior. To contact her mother, Lily's spirit, she consults with retired demonologist Elise Rainier. After she senses a dark entity lurking nearby, Elise pleads with Quinn not to further attempt to contact her mother's spirit. Later, Quinn interacts with Grace, a neighboring tenant in her apartment building, where the elderly woman who is suffering from dementia makes cryptic statements and observations of some kind of entity that she's been seeing lately. On her way home from an acting audition for a performing arts school, Quinn sees a shadowy figure waving at her from across the street. She becomes distracted and, as a result, is struck by a car, breaking both of her legs. Now that she's bedridden, she's forced to spend her days in her home with her father, Sean, and brother, Alex. There, she begins to experience supernatural phenomena, including brutal physical attacks by a man wearing an oxygen mask, whom she dubs the man who can't breathe. She recognizes this man as the mysterious figure who was waving to her on the day of her accident, and her father pleads with Elise to do something to help her. Elise is reluctant, because she has had several bad encounters with the bride in black when she spends any time in the spiritual realm of the further. Desperate to find answers, Quinn's brother Alex suggests that they enlist the help of internet-famous paranormal investigators, Specs, and Tucker. During their initial visit, Quinn becomes possessed by the man who can't breathe, breaking her leg cast off, and attacking them and her father. With the assistance of Specs and Tucker, Elise agrees to venture into the further once more to save Quinn's soul and end the man who can't breathe. She finds him there disguised as her late husband, trying to convince her to commit suicide so they can reunite. She can reveal his true identity, and the two of them battle, with Elise barely making it out of the further. After half of Quinn's soul is left behind, the spirit of Grace approaches her and tells her about a letter her mother left for her to read. Quinn calls out to her mother for help, and Lily appears, encouraging her to stand up for herself and defeat the man who can't breathe by pulling his oxygen mask off. Once Quinn returns, terrifying apparition, their world shatters as their strict father tries to suppress Elise's burgeoning psychic abilities, leading to a fateful encounter with a hidden red door. This encounter unleashes a malevolent entity, the Key-Face Demon, forever altering Elise's life. Years later, a grown-up Elise, alongside her tech-savvy companion Specs and Tucker, receives a distress call from Ted Guzzer, who experiences unsettling phenomena in a familiar location, Elise's childhood home. As they delve into the investigation, a chilling truth unfolds. The house hub is a dark secret, a hidden room concealing a captive young woman. The Key-Face Demon has been manipulating the male residents for decades, forcing them to abduct women and feed on their fear. The discovery triggers a chain of events. Christian, still hovering resentment towards Elise for abandoning him, her father, and Ted Guzzer. Both Elise and Melissa are dragged into the nightmarish realm known as the Further. However, hope emerges from an unexpected source. Imagine Christian's other daughter displays the same psychic abilities as Elise, venturing bravely into the Further of closure and a chilling bridge to the future. Elise reunites Christian and his estranged daughters, while a new case awaits, a desperate call from Lorraine Lambert seeking help for her grandson, Dalton, who has fallen into a coma. The ending leaves audiences with a sense of unease, hinting at a possible connection between the events of The Last Key and the Lambert family's ordeal in the first film. Insidious, The Red Door picks up 10 years after the Lambert family's terrifying encounter with the demonic realm known as the Further. In an effort to move on, Josh and Dalton underwent hypnosis to erase the harrowing memories that left them traumatized. However, this attempt to forget has had unintended consequences. The film opens with a strange relationship between Josh and Dalton, further complicated by their hazy recollections of the past. Josh, recently divorced from Rani, feels a growing sense of unease and disorientation. Dalton, on the verge of college, experiences strange visions and a newfound ability to astral project. As they embark on a road trip to college, both father and son begin to have unsettling encounters. Josh sees a mysterious figure following him, while Dalton experiences unsettling visions. With the help of his roommate, Chris, Dalton discovers his ability to project his spirit, leading him to explore the terrifying world beyond the physical realm. Meanwhile, Josh delves into his family history, uncovering a dark secret about his father. His research reveals a history of mental illness and claims of astral projection, culminating in his father's tragic suicide. Fearing he may be succumbing to the same fate, Josh seeks solace in Rani, who reveals the truth about their shared amnesia. Dalton's experiments with astral projection take a dangerous turn when he realizes the demons from the Further can cross over into the real world. Back in the physical realm, Chris must contend with a possessed Dalton. Thankfully, Josh also enters the Further to rescue his son. The climax takes place within the nightmarish landscape of the Further. Facing the monstrous red-faced demon, Josh and Dalton confront the truth about the past. They learn that the possessed entity was responsible for Josh's attack on his family, a revelation that shatters their understanding of those horrifying events. In a desperate attempt to save his son, Josh sacrifices himself to hold the red-faced demon at bay. Dalton, with newfound purpose, fights back, utilizing his artistic talent to seal the red door that serves as a gateway between the worlds. The film concludes with a sense of hope and reconciliation. Josh and Dalton, forever marketed by their experiences, find solace in their renewed bond. However, a final chilling scene hints at a lingering threat. The red door, though seemingly sealed, pulsates with an ominous flicker, suggesting a potential return to the horrors of the Further.